Science channel. Today we're going to learn about different methods of multiplication. My first question is 3420 times 2. So in this case we are going to first emphasize on the place value. That's ones, tens, hundred and thousand. So since on my ones position I have 0, I will tell you the trick as we keep on solving. So I will take my 3000 times 2. So 3 times 2. Mental math is 6. Therefore 1, 2 and 3 zeros. That's my 6000. 2 times 4 is 8. Again placing, since it is hundreds, I will place it under hundreds and my 2 0. This is a shortcut trick for multiplication, that is by mental math. So 2 times 2 is 4, which is my tens position. Therefore, I will write my 4 here and then comes my 0. So let's add all this together. 0, 0 is 0. Then 0 plus 0 and then I have my 4. 0 plus 8, I have my 8 and finally I have my 6. So my answer is 6840. Let's take the second example. The second example is 1323. Therefore, I will again do my placing ones, tens, hundred and thousand. So in this case, I am going to take 1000 times 3. Then I have my 300 times 3, since I am multiplying with this one. Then I have my 20 times 3. As we see, here we had 0. In the previous example, we had 0. In this example, we have 3. Therefore, 3 times 3 is what we are going to solve. Again, mental math. 3 times 1 is 3. Therefore, it becomes 3000. 3 times 3 is 9. It's under 100 position. Okay, we are solving the 100 position and the 2 zeros. In my tens position, 3 times 2 is 6. And I have just 1 0. In my ones position, I have 3 times 3, which is 9. Therefore, I have 9, 6, 9, 3. So my final answer will be 1323 times 3 equals to 3969. This was the first method that we learned today. The next method that we are going to see is how we do a general column addition method. So in this method, as usual, my positioning is of great impetus. As I go on solving, I will know how to even cross off my carryover. Therefore, I will start with ones position. For multiplication, I always start with ones position. In the previous one, we started with thousands. And that is how the cascading effect went. Here it's going to be the other way. Okay, so please keep this in mind. 2 times 4 is 8. Again, always tables is the key. 2 times 2 is 4. Then I go to 100. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 3, I go to 1000, which is again 6. Let me reiterate what did I do. In my 4 digit by 1 digit multiplication, I will start with ones position. 2 times 4 is 8. I go to 10. 2 times 2 is 4. I go to hundreds. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 3 is again 6. Let's solve one more example of the same method. I have my placing, very important. As I'm always emphasizing, this is the crucial aspect. So 2 times 4 is 8. I will start with ones position. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 1 is 2. And 2 times 4 is 8. This is how my answer is 8208. Kindly try to write them in words as possible. So, in words as possible. Let me write this one for you, which will be 8,000 200 and this is how we learned two methods today. Finally, let's try to solve the word problem in the same line. So my word problem reads is, a bag of peas contains 1250 peas. How many peas are there in 6 bags? Use two different methods to calculate. So they want us to do with both the method. That is the reason we practice both method. So first, as usual, we try our comprehension to be integrated and the statement formation. So a simple statement that we will form, as the question says, bag of peas contains 1250 peas. Therefore, I will have my first statement as number of peas a bag contains. Okay, so number of peas that each bag has is 1250. Then it says how many peas are there in 6 bags. How many bags such we have is 6. Therefore, number of bags, how many do we have? 6. So we got our two statements. Now they are saying use both the methods and help us to calculate how many would it be there. Therefore, since we learned the first method, let's try with that one. 1250 is how much, right? Because they are asking different methods and how many. How many is my multiplication keyword. Okay, so let's go ahead. 1000 times 6, 200 times 6, 50 times 6. As we saw in our first example, since 0 is here, ones, tens, 100,000, I can just come to tens. Okay, therefore 6 times 1 is 6, which becomes 6,000, 3 zeros. 6 times 2 is 12. Now since it will be 12, okay, and I have 0 0, okay, therefore it will become 1200. Okay, now 6 times 5 is 30 again, and I have my 0 here. Okay, let me just elaborate it more for you. Let me do this tens position. So 50 times 6. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 5 is 30. So that's the reason by mental math 6 times 5 is 30 and it's reaching to hundreds position. That is how we got this answer. Finally, we will add it. 0, 0. 3 plus 2 is 5. 6 plus 1 is 7. So by my first method, I got this answer. Let's use the second method now. In my second method, 1250 times 6. Again, I have my ones, tens, 100 and 1000. Let me just make a clear section for the other method. Okay, so in this method, I have 6 times 0 is 0. We start with 1s here, right? Now I'll go to 10. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 2 is 12. Now, like I told you at the beginning, we'll have to cross out, and that is the reason placing is of great importance. Since from tens I got 30, okay, it was 30, okay, so that's why this goes to hundreds position and this came to tens position. Now 6 times 2 is 12, 13, 14, 15. I will cross over. Why? Because I have added it. And 1 I will carry over. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So this helps you to avoid confusion and get your answer. So my question's final statement will be, how many peas are there in 6 bags? So there are 7,500 peas in 6 bags. This is how, just to reiterate again, we integrated comprehension. So we got 2 statements, then we solved with both the methods, and final statement is what we got. Thank you.